One. Well, well, good birthday for me today. Celebrated at work most of the day, but I figured about a week ago or so, I was on YouTube. Actually, one of the guests I'm going to be having re-uploaded one of his old videos, and there was a comment on there that really got to me. Talked about how DiggerFanJSB, monstertruckinator, and myself are like the three like classic YouTubers, and it would be good if we had like a roundtable discussion. I wish I remembered who that was, but if they're watching this right now, you are the number one reason for this. But it's come to life. I never thought I'd actually even say this. Got guest number one on here from, I believe, from New York, Mr. James Martin, a.k.a. Destructiondigger and monstertruckinator. James, say hello.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
And honestly, I never thought I would even say this within my life. Probably one of the major reasons I even got into YouTube and how I even figured out monster trucks even being on YouTube from way up north, the border in Canada, Mr. John Brown, aka DiggerFanJSB. John, how's it going?
It's going good. Hi, everybody.
But guys, I just figured, do something like this because I don't think this has ever been, like a major like discussion or anything like that, because it's like I think, John, you started in 2006, I believe, on YouTube. Am I correct on that one?
Yep.
Okay. And I believe, James, you started in what, 2008, 2007?
I believe so. Yeah, I think 2008.
Okay, because I started in January of 2010, and I got to tell you, from like when I even first discovered YouTube, there wasn't all the like that you see now. It's like all the full shows and everything. You would see just like shortened bit of shows and like little bit of highlight clips, but it's just amazing that within the progress. And actually, James, like you might be able to answer this, or John, you guys might be able to answer this better than anybody else. Back during those days, you had shorter upload limits of like 10 minutes per video. And even the ratings back then, you had star ratings compared to what we got now with the likes.
Yep. Yeah, YouTube uploads are restricted to 10 minutes long, and it was they didn't have the like-dislike system yet. It was 5-star ratings.
Oh my God. And it was funny because I remember when I had first gotten onto YouTube, they had just changed it. And like, because I remember watching a bunch of old videos, and some of them you could do the stars, but at other points too, you could do the likes and the thumbs ups. But it's like, it's just during those days, I wish I could have done a lot of uploading, because with everything I do now, with all my old shows and using my DVD ripper and everything else, I feel like if I would have done that stuff back in those days, it would have been better. But before we get into any of all this, John, we'll start with you. How did you get into being a part of YouTube within the monster truck community? Because if we were to go way back, I mean, like, you're pretty much one of the longest lasting people. Like, yeah, a couple of years ago, a lot of your videos got taken down because of the newest restrictions that they had on YouTube. But if you go back, you go way back to like 2006, and you also had one of the longest, most viewed videos on YouTube, which was the Monster Truck Crash compilation with Slipknot Duality. So, like, how did you get into the YouTube picture?
Well, I kind of picked up video editing back in high school as kind of a hobby, and actually, how I first got on YouTube was actually through Monster Truck Madness 2. I used to race that online. There was a guy I was running a league with back then. I think his name was Alex Pecorelli.
Yeah.
He asked me to put together a promo video for it. I think that would have been like June or July 2006. So that was the first thing I ever posted on YouTube.
And
that was kind of what got the ball rolling from there.
Oh, yeah. Well, and I was going to say, because, like, if memory serves, you also had, like, a decent collection, right? Like, you had started doing, if I remember, I don't know if the Crash compilation was your first actual video involving the footage. Didn't you do, like, a TNT promo or something like that beforehand, and then you did the Crash compilation?
The first would have been actually the first Monster Trucks in the 1980s video. I think that would have been probably September, October 2006.
And then obviously from that point on, you did the Crash compilation, you did Monster Trucks in the 1990s, and then you went further and further on. And then also a couple of times too, you had also had some home recording footage, most specifically Toronto from 1999, which was actually a part of the USHRA update from, I believe, New Orleans of 1999 on Motor Madness. I got to ask, how did you sneak in a camcorder to a big place like that?
I have no idea. Actually, my dad brought that along for that one. That was actually the first Monster Jam I went to in the Sky Dome, so that was pretty neat.
Now, James, obviously, if I remember, because Destructiondigger was your first account before you got Monstertruckinator, I don't really remember your first video, but like, what made you decide to go into the YouTube world with Monster Trucks?
I've been going to shows for as long as I can remember, and always started out with my old style flip phones, recording little clips of different events and the little pixelated videos.
Oh, yep.
Then graduated up to little better digital cameras, so I started recording a little more, and here I am.
And honestly, I mean, like, it was kind of like that with me, because I don't know if you guys remember this name, Combat MT, Zane Lips, I believe his name was. He would always have the World Finals DVDs on YouTube. He would always have like Crash Madness on YouTube, and he told me how to originally rip DVDs, but I was only like a 13, 14-year-old kid at the time. I didn't know what he was even talking about. But it was during that time I also became friends with Will Barnwell of Monster Truck Rally 666. He had started doing a lot of these videos, just like Crashes and Carnage. He had also done a lot of the tribute videos, and he told me how to download videos. And then right then and there was when I started doing all the editing and got to where I'm pretty much at today. But obviously within YouTube now, obviously there has been a lot that has changed, but I don't know like the best way to ask this, but like the monster truck community on YouTube from back then, like before 2010, because that was during the days of Mayhem. Not a lot of the Facebook groups were starting around back then. Was it how different was it back then compared to what we got now? John, we'll start with you.
I guess that's a tough question. I mean, I guess it was a little less centralized. I mean, like it wasn't like now where you have like one or two Facebook groups and you get everybody sharing and posting everything from there. So you kind of have to do a little bit more. You have to do a little bit more searching around to find things, and you kind of get bits and pieces of it here and there. But I guess for me that's a big difference. It's a lot less centralized.
James?
Well, Monster Mayhem days, it was a lot tight group of people always on there, always sharing information, inside scoop and everything. Now on Facebook, with all these groups going on, there's fans, there's drivers, there's crew guys all talking about the same thing in different groups. So some groups have a couple thousand people in them, and then they're always sharing all the information, and you figure out bit by bit by saying what John said, pretty much.
Well, yeah, because like it's funny. I say I came along during that time. I feel like by the time I came along, Mayhem was slowly starting to go away. I mean, like I think a few people use it now, but at the same time, I don't really know. I mean, like I go on there occasionally to either look for dates or something like that, because with all my DVDs I got, I usually like to put the correct date that the show is actually filmed. But also too, within some of the Facebook groups, like, there's Monster Truck Collecting, there's Monster Trucks Then and Now, there's the old USHRA, TNT Motorsports. There's all kinds of great groups where you can get a bunch of cool information, cool history facts. And like from what both of you said, trying to find this stuff way back when on Mayhem, it just feels like that there wasn't like a whole lot of information. You had to literally drag it out of people. And not to mention as well, John, you actually have like your own personal collection, but like, did you ever do any, tape trading or DVD trading on the days with Mayhem for some of your footage?
Actually, no, I've never really done any sort of tape trading. Pretty much all the tapes I have are just stuff that I've accumulated on my own over the years.
And obviously, me and James, we both we have a good amount of people that we usually get our stuff from. It's always cool though, because of like knowing that many years ago this stuff was actually recorded off of someone's VCR, and it, like I said, I don't know the right word to describe it, but it just feels amazing that all this footage from like 20 to 30 plus years ago is out there. People can make them, and there's still a lot of rare stuff for people to find. I mean, like, John, you got one of them, Monster Trucks and Pros, the Thunder and Lightning of arena racing from the 1997 USA Motorsports Series. I mean, I don't know anybody else who even has that.
Yeah, I mean, that tape, I actually got through the mail order from the Motor Madness show way back in like '98. So I've had that one basically since it came out.
Now, to get into more of like, the reality base of it, James, I'll start with you. Into like being a big fan of monster trucks, how did you start to become a huge fan of just these massive vehicles that would crush cars, fly through the air? What got you into it?
Well, it started when I was probably 3 or 4 years old. My dad actually took me to my first event. I think it was in Middletown, New York. It was a old Monster Jam event, and that pretty much got me hooked. That was the first time I went to an event. I remember Digger was there, that Taurus, Hulkster, and Equalizer. But ever since then, I started going to the events. In 2001, I went to the Englishtown Jet Car Nationals. When that first time I got close up and met Dennis Anderson, Tom Benz, and pretty much got me hooked. Been going to shows ever since, going probably 5, 6, 7, 8 shows a year, or maybe sometimes more. And now here I am.
Well, yeah, obviously, because like I remember I just saw that footage too. I think it was from 1996 that you're talking about, because that was the one that Hulkster was at, along with
I didn't actually film that event, but I was there. I was there, yeah.
Oh yeah, no, honestly, like I've been trying to find like good footage of my first event, which was Providence in 1998 with Sky Hartley driving Bigfoot, Tom Menson, Monster Patrol, Todd Frolic, and Barefoot. But John, what about you? How did you become a fan of monster trucks, and what made it stick out for you to become a huge fan?
Well, I guess actually, first of all, growing up as a little kid on a farm, you kind of naturally get that interest in tractors and in trucks. I believe what it was actually, what first got me into monster trucks was my parents took me to a local video rental store, and they had the old US Hot Rod video, Blood, Sweat, and Gears.
Oh, yep.
Saw that as a little kid, and that got me hooked on monster trucks from there on out. First show I went to was probably, I think it was 1995, local Speedway, Varney, Ontario. They had a thrill show there, and they had two monster trucks there, the rubber tired truck and one of the track style vehicles. Doing a car crash at the end of it. So that was the first time I actually got to see a show.
Wasn't that the one that was actually filmed too on your YouTube channel?
Yep.
Wow.
Yep. Yeah, that was another one. My dad had his camcorder there and recorded it. So I've got the video of that one.
Now, honestly, like I've been a fan I was born in 1995, and from what my mom said, like I just got hooked into it the moment it was on the screen, and then it wasn't until I'd say, at least that I can remember, because I went to my first show in 1998, but what really got me hooked was the Gravedigger Lawn Dart crash from New Orleans, 1999, and I remember at that moment, I'm like, this is something I want to watch and be a part of for like the rest of my life, because just seeing that moment and becoming a huge fan with Gravedigger and being a huge fan of all around the monster trucks, it's just that it's always that one moment has always just stuck with me, and it's stuck with me ever since, because it was just that amazing of a crash. And actually, speaking of crash, I'm going to be bringing this up a lot because it was one of the most viewed videos on YouTube for a long time. I think it actually reached almost 20 million or 30 million views. I know it was way up there. The Monster Truck Crash compilation with the Slipknot Duality song. When you first made that many years ago in 2007, did you even think it would even get that popular?
I honestly didn't think anybody would really watch it. That was just something I threw together for fun one afternoon. Just, hey, maybe some people will get a kick out of it.
And then as the years went on, like, let me see, it was uploaded in 2007. And then if you were to go to, like, let's say 2013, 2014, 2015, you see the amount of views, the likes, the comments. Did you ever think to yourself, holy crap, like, why are people watching this compared to other things?
Yeah, I mean, it really surprised me once it started jumping up in views and people started sharing it around. Yeah, honestly.
Now, James, obviously, like, you've had a lot of views on certain things. I remember one of your old RC videos on the Destruction Digger page was like, I think it had over 100,000 or something views, and it was on as much as I hate to say it, no offense, but it was on a crappy flip phone, just going through a track, and I'm thinking to myself, how the hell does this have so many views? And then,
yeah, I remember that.
and then, all the other shows that you attended, a Freestyle Mania in Uniondale with Jim Kohler flipping, that had a lot of views. Even Spider-Man, Avenger, and Gravedigger entering the building in Uniondale, that was up there in views too. But if you had to go back and look at all those videos from many, many years ago on that channel, specifically Destruction Digger, and you saw how many views it got, did you ever think to yourself, like, why are people watching this and nothing else?
Yeah, some of the things that actually got the most views, like you're saying, I would never think that they would be up there in the views, especially like that RC video. That was probably done on a camcorder that would only record up to like 60-second video clips, and it had probably, I'm not sure exactly what it was up to, but it was up there in views, probably at least 50,000 or so. I remember last time I checked it.
Oh, yeah.
Some of the stuff on there, you wouldn't even think that people would watch.
Oh, no, exactly. Because like all that footage from, and now I'll even flash forward to like 2012, 2011, when you started going to Vermonster, and all that, great footage of Bridgeport 2011 with the muddy track in the arena, the Crush Station breaking a wheel off. But no, everybody would just rather see the RCs. But
yeah, that's weird how it all works.
Oh yeah, no, exactly. And now, John, within everything that has been going on within YouTube, obviously, like, I think probably the major question within the room here, a lot of your videos, you took down personally due to, I don't know how to pronounce it, the Copa situation. I mean, like, a lot of my videos that I have, they're still in very, very good hands, knock on wood. But, do you plan on uploading any more of the old footage that everybody loved seeing back in the day?
Yeah, probably will be at some point or another. Yeah, it's just a matter of getting around to it. I mean, a lot of the older stuff, some of the early videos, I'd like to actually re-render in better quality, because a lot of those, the early ones I originally posted back when I was on dial-up. So they're like 144p quality. So,
oh my God!
I'm hoping to kind of go back and recreate those in better quality to.
And those days, because I remember when I first started doing video editing. James, I don't know about you if you ever use this, but John is very familiar with it. The old Windows Movie Maker.
Oh yeah.
It was such. I hate to curse on this, but I'm going to say it anyway. The original Windows Movie Maker, because I use Windows Live. This one's much better than the old one. The old one was a pain in the ass at all times, because it's like anytime whenever you tried to save a video or whenever you tried to edit a video to a certain point, there would be a glitch in there to the point where everything would be erased, everything would be completely gone, or same case if you even tried to save a video, and then once when you were done with the video, you tried to convert it onto your computer, it would not let you. There would be plenty of times where I would have to cut a video in half. So like if it was like a 4-minute video, cut it within the 2-minute mark, save that part, erase everything, go to the other 2-minute part, save that one, and hope that the music would stick within everything else. But I mean, with Windows Live Movie Maker that I have, I've never had an issue once, knock on wood. But James, I've asked you a couple of times about Sony Vegas. When did you move over from Windows Movie Maker to Sony?
Well, probably 2014 or so. I started editing and changing, experimenting with different programs. I started using a Windows Live Movie Maker, and actually went back. I found an old link recently of a download. You could download the Windows Movie Maker from the old software.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been messing around with that actually all over again. Exactly what you were just saying about the errors and it glitching. I was actually editing a video earlier today, and the little exclamation point with the little check mark, the little the error box showed up, and I'm like, what happened? So then I had to delete those clips and do the exact same thing you did. I saved it in two different parts, and I edited it again, and it saved. But I'm always changing up different little editing programs, always trying to see what's a little different out there and which ones I like the better.
Now, within everything else that has gone on, I'd say from like 2010 to where we are now, because me personally, from 2009 till I'd probably say 2013, those 4 years were probably, I don't want to say like had like a major hype period within the Monster Truck YouTube community, but you had a lot of people on there. Some of them work in monster trucks today. Some of them drive today. Some of them aren't even a part of YouTube anymore. There was DiggerFan. There was a Destruction Digger. There was Combat. It was either MT or Combat MTV. Zane Lips. You had Will Barnwell of Monster Truck Rally. Cam Seward. You had Al House. You had CNH 320 General Lee, Josh Putney. I'm pretty sure he's watching right now. You had a good majority of all those people, and everybody was putting out content left and right. But now that we move past that, James, I'll start with you. The thoughts on pretty much all the different types of YouTube content that we see now with, I don't want to call them Instagram kids, but a lot of these people, they're from Instagram, and they usually put like a lot of compilation videos out there, a lot of event highlights. Your thoughts from the YouTube community of monster truck YouTubers from the past decade to what we got now?
Well, a lot of the kids out there now are always, I get messages all the time from people on YouTube. I guess they're kids. I'm not sure exactly, but they always ask me, can I use your clips from my video? And I'm always asking. He's like, yeah, sure. Just give me some credit and just be free to use it. And now it seems like there's a lot of people using little highlight clips and little compilations out there. Back in the day, well, not back in the day, but when we first started it, it was always a tight group of people usually doing the same clips, doing different events. And it's sorry.
Now, John, what about you? Because like a few days ago, you had messaged me about like some of the old people, some of the older YouTube channels that were actually a part of this, and it just feels like now, I mean, like, I'm glad a lot of their videos are still out there, but just the fact of now, if you had to think about it, you're still uploading, James is still uploading, I'm uploading most of the time. Thoughts on everybody now compared to back then?
Well, I honestly don't know much I can say about who's on there now, because I've kind of drifted away from YouTube a little bit. I honestly don't know who's much of the community right now.
I'd say honestly, like the major, I don't want to say major, but like the one person who's definitely gotten really good with their views, I think it's Avengers Racing. I believe that's who they are. They do a lot of the Florida shows. They have at least like 9 videos. If you go on their channel, they have at least like 9 to 10 videos already in the millions. So they're doing something right. I don't know what they're doing, but they're doing something right. But now, James, actually, no, John, you had mentioned this beforehand too. A lot of the same people within the Monster Truck YouTube community came from Monster Truck Madness. And some of those same people also went to Rigs of Rods. They went to, a lot of people might remember this, Insane, number 1 Insane. I'm pretty sure I'm pronouncing it wrong, but it's been way too long. A lot of the games that people used to play back then, it just felt like that anywhere where you looked on YouTube, strictly for monster trucks, it would be Insane, it would be Stuntman, it would be Monster Truck Madness 2. Your thoughts, John, first off, on the games from back then to what we got now?
Yeah, I mean, back then it was a lot of fun, I think, in terms of the modding scene, just trying to push what you could do with the games. Like we had a Monster Truck Madness too. I mean, people were trying to put as much detail as they could to the point where it was just lagging the heck out of the game. And then Insane came along, and the physics were that much more improved from what was in Monster Truck Madness 2 in terms of the vehicle handling and whatnot. And then that brought another whole element to it. Then, of course, people found out about rigs of rods, and then that blew the roof off in terms of the capabilities of what you could do with it. And then BeamNG from there.
Yep, I was just going to say, you got BeamNG, and then I'm pretty sure I'm missing a bunch of other games out there where you could download mods for monster truck stuff. Now, James, I mean, like, as far as I'm concerned, I don't know if you've ever even uploaded any videos regarding some of the games out there, but I'm pretty sure you do play them, right?
Yeah, I don't think I ever did any videos about any of the games, but I was pretty active when Rings of Rods first came around. I was always doing the organized events, doing the whole competitions back on the servers a couple of years back. I kind of drifted away from that, but I've been playing BeamNG recently, and that game is pretty addicting.
I was gonna say, like, the big game as of right now is definitely BeamNG. Like, first off, for anybody out there, if you ever want to play BeamNG, get yourself at least a good computer. Like, I'm talking about spend good money. Like, I have a $750 laptop that plays BeamNG very, very well. But also, I mean, I also had a $200 laptop that could play very well. I mean, it just depends on the aspects of your computer. But, you know, within everything else of, you know, the games, the highlight videos everybody has made, I'll start off with James first. Do you think now, because everybody now has a good quality phone for that can shoot good pictures, good video, the monster truck industry now, is the monster truck industry now much bigger than what it was, let's say, in 2010 when they first started doing backflips?
Well, I think so, for the reason being that people always have iPhones now and different phones that could be doing videos. Back a couple of years back, Monster Jam was really strict about videos. You couldn't bring video cameras, couldn't post videos. Now everyone is on social media, posting on Instagram and YouTube and Facebook, just live videos and pictures and stuff. And a lot of people are seeing it more than what they had a couple of years ago, I feel like.
Now, John, obviously, you've had footage of a huge camcorder in the stands at a Monster Jam event and also at a county fairgrounds. You know, you look back at that knowing what you had to bring in for something like that. And now you look at today where everybody can just hold their phone up sideways, and then they can just take whatever they can. And obviously it gets uploaded to YouTube within seconds. You know, you've been around longer. The major change from, let's say, a lot of the fan videos from 2007, do you feel now that the monster truck industry is a lot bigger compared to what it was back then?
Oh yeah, it's definitely more widespread now. I mean, like you have people with high quality phones now, and you get a million videos from every weekend event. But it kind of takes away to some extent what I consider kind of the magic. I remember probably around the 2006, 2007 era when videos from some of these shows were really scarce. You really had to search to find them, and it's kind of like finding a hidden treasure trove when you get some videos from one of these smaller shows that didn't get televised or something.
Mm-hmm. Now, because one of the other things too, when I first got into YouTube, when I first started my channel in 2010, that was when, I don't know if it was 2008 or 2009, where YouTube added the HD, option where you can watch your videos in HD. Now, YouTube, you can watch 720 in regular definition. They consider 720p as regular definition instead of HD. That was a major change back then, but I feel like one of the major changes was in 2010 when everybody started doing all these highlight videos, Monster Truck Mania TV was good with this when it was Will Barnwell, me, Daniel Donnelly, formerly known as Cyclone Time 2009, Cyclone Time TV, Dylan Bernier, the Monster Jam fan 4018, I believe he was a part of it, and I believe Stephen Hopkins, Racing Boy 2345667 was a part of it too. Everybody would just capture certain events from all over the country, and Will would edit all up into one video. And in July of 2010, that was when YouTube managed to bring up the upload limit to 15 minutes. Now, John, as far as I'm concerned, I don't think I've ever seen you upload a video that long, but I'm pretty sure you remember during that time that it was a big, big change, because now for people who are uploading, let's say, TNN events, they can upload it in 3 parts or sometimes even 2 instead of 5.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, the kind of videos that I always do, I mean, yeah, usually I've kind of always restricted them to about 10 minutes at most. But yeah, I remember that being a big change, because people were trying to do these big, long videos, and you'd have to break them up into like 5, 6 different parts just to get it up there.
And now, James, obviously, same thing with you. I mean, like, I remember seeing some of your stuff. I think it was probably a CFP show in 2010. I think it was, I don't know if it was you or it might have been someone else. But point is, 3 parts for like a simple show with wheelies, racing, and freestyle. And then during that time, you could upload it within just 2 parts. But but actually, this kind of brings me to my next question, because you had done some of this stuff in 2012 when you had debuted the Monster Truckinator YouTube account. Now, if memory serves, didn't Tony Macari have a little bit of help with that, or was it just strictly you?
Oh yeah, Tony and the whole Thrasher gang in Connecticut was a big part of that channel when I first started. Tony would always do the how-to videos of how to fuel the truck, how the rear steering works in a monster truck, all different things like that. We would do little skits and stuff like that. But it started out probably in 2012, like you said, and it was with Michael Suma, Pat Suma's son. We started with him. Kyle Seasock, John Seasock's son, was a little bit part of it. So was Tony's nephews, Joseph and Thomas. We would always go to the shows together, pretty much all in the Northeast. And every time we'll go to the events, somebody would always get some clips, get some pictures, help out here and there. And over the years, it's slowly the Thrasher team just disbanded, and I'm the one that's left doing all the work.
Well, I was going to say, I mean, like, I know Michael's doing some stuff, but I never know, like, exactly what he's doing. But,
oh, yeah. Michael, he's still around. I was actually just on a show with him on Monday in West Lebanon. We went up to the show together.
Now, I was going to say, I've seen footage of that stuff. I mean, like, major props to Steve Perry and his promotion, putting on good shows in West Lebanon. Everybody's talking about how, West Lebanon can't really do that many good shows without Monster Jam there. And, no offense to Monster Jam. I mean, like, they did it without the major monster truck guys. I mean, I feel bad for that one mega truck guy who flat out just nose dove right into the ground. But now, one of the other things, to get back on topic here, now everybody can upload. Like for me, for example, I just uploaded almost a 3.5 hour video of the Equalizer's 1990 TNT season. And I have no idea when YouTube decided to go to unlimited amount of uploads, because I've seen uploads that are like 12 hours, 13 hours. I've even seen ones that are like friggin' 36, like of just random stuff, like playing a video game, TV shows, 36 hours in length. Now, is that, first off, I'll ask John first, with the unlimited uploads that are like close to like an hour, little over an hour or so in length, I know a lot of people usually like to listen to the shows instead of watching them if they're that long, but with those shows being that long, anything over an hour, anything like that, do you consider that a negative or positive?
My personal opinion is I personally favor some of the shorter, more concise videos, because once you draw it out too long, you get too much of the downtime, and it to a certain extent, it does become a little boring, and you kind of lose viewer interest. That's my opinion of it, though.
Oh, no. Personally, I mean, like, the only reason why I even have those uploads that long is because it's like, I have no idea where to cut it off, and I know for a fact I'm nowhere near done, so I'm going to have to just let it keep going. I even had a couple of messages from people when they were watching the Equalizer one. Someone even said, how much longer is this? Now, James, obviously, because you had done a lot of uploads too that are within that limit. And also, I've seen some of your more recent shows that you've uploaded from like 2016, 2017, 2015. They were over half an hour, sometimes 40 minutes. What about you? Do you feel YouTube uploads being that long now, where it's like you can have any certain limit? Is that a negative or a positive?
Well, it's a little bit of both, I think. If you're filming a live event and posting it on there, most of the time you can condense them down to 45 minutes or less, which is just what, like, saying a full event, you can condense it down to that. Anything over that, you're definitely going to be losing some viewer interest, and the views are definitely going to be less and less as more time goes on. Me personally, I don't think that's terrible, but I wouldn't really want to be sitting there for over an hour watching an event. sometimes it is. Sometimes it's more interesting, but yeah, I don't think it's that bad. But someone
actually just commented on this. Velk is back. I'm pretty sure I'm pronouncing it wrong. In my opinion, having a 3-hour video instead of like 3 or 4 parts, basically, because you upload less videos. Even if you upload the uncut, you still aren't over the. I didn't even know there was a daily upload limit. I really didn't.
If I was going to be uploading a 2-hour, 3-hour video, it'll be taking me 3 days to upload that with my wife.
Hey, you know, I'm gonna knock on wood when I say this. I've had when I saved my Equalizer video, it took me about 2 hours to edit the video down to what it is. It took me over an hour to save it, and then I remember messaging my buddy Martin. I believe his YouTube name is Torque Easy. I believe it is Martin Hussey. I have no idea if I got your name right, but I had messaged him, and I'm like, you know, the premiere's gonna be starting soon. He sat there for like maybe like 20 minutes. He was like, when is this thing gonna be happening? And I'm like, it says it's processing. I have no idea, you know, because like it's a big file. It's who even knows. But now, one of the other things, like, whenever I go onto YouTube and I search up for monster truck stuff, first thing I look for, if I want to go on the nostalgia side, I'll look up TNN stuff. But if I want to watch something that, you know, can just keep me entertained for a little bit, I'll watch some of the compilations. Like, got to give a compliment here to James. He has one of my favorite Crash compilation videos, 2 of them actually. A lot of them from the 2012 through 2019 shows. Very, very good crashes that he's filmed himself. What do you? I'll start off with James first. Whenever you go onto YouTube, what do you usually look for monster truck wise? Like, do you go onto your channel first to watch anything? Do you go to other channels? What exactly do you look for whenever you go onto YouTube?
Well, lately I've been watching a lot of the videos done by, I believe his name is Monster Jam Lord. I think he films a lot of events that are in really good quality, so I've been watching a lot of his events and always looking for the lesser known events that aren't really known much about. I just saw one, I believe yesterday, was from Indiana with like a 4 or 5 truck lineup in a little fairground, so always interested in watching the lesser known events. And the big events always have the more popularity, and you can find a whole bunch of different clips of different angles and things like that. But I'm always interested in watching the smaller events, sometimes the older non-televised events, sometimes like the home footage. I always love watching the home footage of different people over the country.
Oh yeah, no, like me personally, I love seeing the old footage, and Got to give another shout out here to Nick Davis, Back Channel Productions. He has a lot of old camcorder footage on his channel. I'd say probably one of my favorite ones was Brookville, I think it was, 1992. I don't know if I got the town right, but I know it was 1992. Snakebite, Charlie Pauken and Excalibur, Robert Parker and Gravedigger. No, I'm sorry, 93. Predator, Nightmare. You look at that with the camcorder footage of back then during that time, it was just completely amazing. And it started off with freestyle. They started off doing freestyle first, and then they did racing, qualifying, etc. They did all that stuff back then. And that was just a small fair show that you went to. Now, John, I'm going to be straight up front here. Back during those days, like within 2006, 2007, 2008, the search bar was a little bit different because there wasn't like a lot of the content that we see now. But if you had to go back during that time, when you first started uploading a lot of the videos that you would upload, like, did you ever like just get those thoughts into your mind where it's like, this is the type of video I would like to make, and this is exactly how I want it to be? Or did a lot of these video ideas come into your mind?
Yeah, usually a lot of it was kind of spontaneous. Like I'd maybe have an idea pop into my mind, and I'd start piecing stuff together, and then kind of run from there.
Now, I forgot to ask you one of the other questions. Whenever you go onto YouTube, whether if it was back then or nowadays, do you usually look for anything in particular whenever it comes to monster trucks? Like, I'm pretty sure back then you would always look at maybe like some old footage, some of the like camcorder footage, or even sometimes footage from the events itself, or, you know, sometimes TV broadcasts. But, you know, whether back then or now, whenever you hop onto YouTube for like monster truck stuff, what exactly do you look for?
For me personally, I mean, a lot of my go-to stuff on YouTube is stuff from the TNT years. There was a lot of good competition from those years. I really like the trucks from that era. And I'm actually usually always on the lookout to try and see if I can find maybe some new rare stuff from the 80s that people have posted. You see it pop up every now and then, and especially I think it was Tim Ray.
Yep.
I think one of the old video editors for TNT, some of the stuff he's been posting in the past couple of weeks was great.
I just actually watched his video from the TNT banquet in 1990, and man, do I wish, like, I know I was born in 95. I'm a little baby, and actually today is my birthday. I celebrate 26 years, but I wish I could have been born in the late 70s or even just the early 80s so I could witness during those times, because I have a good collection of 1989 TNT, 1990 TNT. It just feels like during that time, yeah, the trucks were running leaf springs. They had a lot tougher suspension. A lot of them were steel bodies. They were heavier, but it felt to me that the action back then was so much better than I got nothing wrong with what we got today. There's a lot more close calls today, but it just feels like back then those guys were actually fighting for something compared to, you know, like an overall event of what we got now. But it just feels like back then everything was much more, what's the right word here? Much more competitive and for a bigger stake. That's just me. I'm pretty sure a lot of people out there are going to be like, you know, Monster Jam nowadays is more competitive than it was. I get all that, but, you know, the nostalgia in me always goes for the old school. But a couple more quick questions.
The one thing I love about that area, sorry to jump in there. Was,
No, go right ahead.
Like you said, the fact that they were working with limited technology back then, and you had guys that were just trying to be creative to try and push things as far as they could to get that competitive edge to win. And I think, to me, that made things a lot more exciting to watch in that time frame.
And actually, James, you had uploaded not that long ago, maybe a little over a year ago or so, a lot of old TNT stuff from like St. Paul, 1988. I've seen a couple of stuff from 1987. Personally, I didn't even know you were a TNT fan. I'll be perfectly honest. I didn't even know you were a TNT fan. You know, you watched that footage from back then, looking at what we got now. I'm not going to ask you, do you have a favorite time in monster trucks, but like your thoughts on from racing back then to what we got now.
Well, I wasn't around back then, but Usually, my favorite ever was probably from 1990 to 1995. All the Penda days, the TNT days, when the racing was racing and the trucks were trucks. Now you have sharks and dragons and everything's geared toward kids. And, nothing wrong with that, but just the competition aspect has went downhill, and it's not who's the fastest, who's the most horsepower. Now it's about who sells the most T-shirts and who's the most fan favorite, and things like that. Don't really make it a competition as it once was to me.
And as much as I, hate to be the burden of this, like I'm gonna tell you the exact same words that I got told from when I shot a show. Not that I think it was either 2019 or 2020. I consider monster trucks big time motorsport, but with the way how people react to it, because you look at monster trucks and not a lot of people are going to say, oh, monster trucks, it's, toughest monster truck tour. It's the throwdown. Whenever people think of monster trucks, they're immediately going to assume Monster Jam was Gravedigger, Max D, Dragon, Earthshaker, etc. Great trucks. I've been a major Gravedigger fan my whole life. I've been a major Maximum Destruction fan for a long time. But, monster trucks, I hate to say it, they're just the entertainment part of motorsports. That's why they don't have a main sponsor that they should. Like, I've always assumed that if, kind of like the NASCAR Winston Cup, NASCAR Monster Energy, even Mellow Yellow Drag Racing, I know it's not that anymore, but like one major sponsor could get involved with monster trucks and start up a huge thing where it could be like a nice big long points tour from like January to maybe November or something like that. Try to see who the toughest one actually is, but I'm not going to say it won't happen. I would love for that to happen, but it just feels like that with everything, how Monster Jam is, with how, because like what you just said, it's strictly for the kids. Like, if you want to see more adult-oriented stuff from the same company that runs Monster Jam, watch Supercross. If you want to watch something more adult-oriented with monster trucks, Throwdown would be your best bet, because obviously they have things set more to like the happy medium, adults, teenagers, and kids. But couple other quick things here. Within all the history of monster trucks, we've already talked about how with TNT being a major point of monster truck racing, etc. Let's move forward now to the 90s. Everybody knows that by 1992, 1993, a lot of the trucks had tube chassis, fiberglass bodies, coilover shocks, new shock systems for their trucks. And then you also had much more different shows to watch. Like you had Monster Wars in 93, you had Penda, you had all these great different things. Any particular thoughts? I'll start off with John first. Like, because you had just said that the racing from TNT was so good because of what they were competing for, but those are in the older trucks with limited technology, and then you move up to some of the newer technology within the 90s. What would you feel like the progress is? Like, is it good progress, bad progress?
Well, it was good progress, I think, into the early 90s. But the one thing I always thought about the Penda series that was kind of unfortunate is it always seemed to be complete after probably about the first couple of years of the 90s. It was pretty much dominated by the two factory-packed teams. You had Ford with Bigfoot, and you had Dodge with the Barefoot, the Rampage team. And they pretty much dominated the entire series. A lot of the independents were left in the dust at that point. But I think the first couple of years of the 90s were really neat because you had everyone, as they're moving into these newer tube chassis trucks, again, kind of with the TNT era, they were trying to figure out what they could do with the trucks to try to make them more competitive. And you saw a lot of unique trucks come out of the early 90s.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. And plus, like, I'm not going to disagree with the whole Penda thing. I mean, there were a lot of other good heavy hitters there. Taurus was good, but he only lasted until 92 within the Penda series. Monster Patrol was good when he joined in 93. Carolina Crusher was good until he left in 95. All these guys were good, but you're right. Like, it was just dominated by either the Bigfoot crew or the Barefoot crew. Now, James, same thing I just asked him. You see this footage from 87, 88, these heavy trucks running stock suspension, stock chassis, bouncing around like crazy. Then you fast forward a couple of years, you see most of these guys now with tubular chassis. A lot of them have rear engine, a lot of them have a front engine, but they have four-link suspension, coilover shocks, a lot more horsepower. You look at the footage from back then in like the 80s and you fast forward to the early to mid 90s, your thoughts on seeing all this progress that was made within a short period of time?
Oh yeah, like probably about the 89, 90 season when Bigfoot came out with Bigfoot 8 and number 9. That was a whole game changer for the whole industry. Once all the other competitors started seeing how good and how better these new Bigfoot trucks started performing, everyone had to step up their game and try to compete with them. Taurus came out with the new racer trucks, Monster Patrol, Barefoot. They were all up there. And then you watch some videos from like 89, Bigfoot blows all the competition away. 90. And then some of the races were like incredible, seeing how fast and how competitive the Bigfoot truck was compared to like Nightlife or Carolina Crusher, the old one. And then the early 90s came out, and then they started actually having some major competition and having some really good races. But like you said, it was Barefoot, Dodge, Carolina Crusher, the Chevy, all competing, and then they're going for the win. The Ford, Chevys, and Dodges were the main competitors back in the day.
Sorry to interrupt you there, man. I got another comment here. I remember one of the Bigfoot trucks got banned in Penda. I hate to correct you on that, but it was actually TNT of 1990. Bigfoot 8 got banned. But no, I exactly agree with what you're saying, because it's like, I was listening to the Retro Monster Truck Review. Shout out to Josh Rhodes. I love that show. For anybody who's looking for a good podcast to listen to, whether if it's monster trucks or anything like that, Retro Monster Truck Review is the best one to listen to. Josh does a great job with all of his guests. They cover a lot of great shows. One of them, I believe it was, I don't know if it was Louisville 1990 or if it was Dallas 1990. But point is, one of the guys from J Concept said it best. Also, Josh said it best too. You're taking these heavy vehicles, but yet you're upgrading it like 10 years ahead of its time within a short amount of time. Because Bigfoot 8, if you were to go back to when it got banned, because of the tube chassis, nitrogen charged shocks that ran many inches of travel, and then you also had the fact that it was a 4-length truck, and it was just way too quick. So a lot of guys like Scott Stevens, a lot of guys like John Moore, Dennis Anderson, they were talking about how they really didn't think it was fair that Bigfoot had that much technology going into the TNT season that year, and completely, like, I don't want to say dominated, but every event that Bigfoot 8 was at, you could tell it was just going to go in the winner's circle because it was that powerful. But 3 more questions here, and then we'll call it a night here. Question number 1. Now, there's been a lot of videos that we have all uploaded within our history. John, I'll start with you. What do you think was probably the best upload you have ever uploaded? And I don't know if you still have it, but like if you do still have it, will you upload it again?
Yeah, that's a tough question, actually. I mean, I have probably a handful of videos that are all my favorite. I have to say, really, a couple, 3 that come to mind. First off, that I really liked were probably the TNT in the 80s, USA Motorsports through the years, where I kind of did that whole chronology of USA Motorsports from the early 80s up until
I remember that one.
And then the one Monster Trucks in the 80s, can't remember which part number it was, where I did the intro that was kind of a parody of the Saturday night main event.
Oh, yep. I think I remember that one. I was that one like around like 2012, 2013, or was that more recent, like 15, 16?
I think that was more recent. I'm thinking maybe 2017.
I mean, like, obviously, if you still have it, I mean, like, I would love to see it again, because I know I don't know if you have all of them, but I'm pretty sure you got a good majority of them. But now, James, going to go to you. You know, you've uploaded a lot of stuff, whether if it's on Monster Truckinator, Destruction Digger. What would you say would be like your best upload that you've ever uploaded?
Well, I wouldn't say my best, but probably one of my favorites would probably be a couple of years back. I got a collection of old camcorder tapes from a driver up here in Connecticut, and I uploaded some of his stuff that was probably, I think it was 1987. It was a mud bog up in, I think it was Rhode Island, and it was actually featuring Dennis Anderson and Gravedigger #1 doing a wild car crush and little mud run with the Digger #1. And that was probably one of the coolest clips I ever seen. Probably one of the most rare clips of Digger #1 that's ever been probably uploaded, other than Monster Jam archives that they share sometimes.
I have to say this because that was actually in, and I am not that far from this place at all. I am literally right down the road. It was from Westport, Massachusetts.
Okay.
And the fact that that happened right near my old freaking hometown, well, my future hometown, I should say, because I wasn't born in 87, but just the fact that Dennis Anderson came that close to my hometown many, many years ago. But if I had to go back and look at some of the stuff I've done, I mean, I'll obviously tell you some of the videos I regret ever doing, but probably my very favorite video I ever uploaded was my very first highlight video, which I believe was the Gravedigger 14 season from 2001. And I had to use that was before I even knew about, I mean, I had already bought in DVDs, but that was before I knew that a lot of people had this stuff. I had to download a lot of those videos from like Dietrix85, which I don't know his last name, but I know his first name is Derek. He used to share a lot of photos with Dennis Taft on the Monster Photos website. He had a lot of old school footage, and I would just download his videos. I would download every video I could get just to make that highlight video. But the sad thing was I cut it off right before Vegas. So I couldn't finish up the whole video. And truthfully, I can't now. Because if I were to upload it, Monster Jam would probably take it down within a second. Now, question number 2 here. Regrets. We all have a lot of regrets in our life. James, do you have any videos that you regret ever uploading?
I know there was definitely a few of them have been taken down from probably felt over the years, but I don't really regret any of it. The fans got what they wanted to see, and they enjoyed it for a while it was up.
Now, John, what about you? I mean, like, within your history, I don't see any videos that I've seen where it's like, why the hell would he upload this? But like, if you had to go back and look at all the videos you ever uploaded, do you regret uploading any of those?
Yeah, I can't really think of any that I'd really say I regret.
Now,
I mean, usually I make sure I'm pretty happy with stuff before I post it. But,
oh my God. So I have to, it's weird. Like my very first year of YouTube was very, very strange because I started in January of 2010, and then I started doing a bunch of like little music videos, like where you set the music and you timed it perfectly. Shout out to another guy who helped me out way back when, the Dior dude. I forget his real name. I think it's Steve Harlow or something like that. But he helped me out along with Dylan Bernier, Monster Jam Fan 4018. He helped me out too. I completely edited it all wrong. I have some of them still stuck up on my Facebook page. Like the timing of it was awful. I look back at it now and I'm thinking to myself, did I just get like, what was I thinking when I was 14 years old doing this? Like, if you ever want to check it out, at your risk. Now, final question here,
To
because
tell you the truth, I mean, that's honestly how I feel about a lot of my early stuff. But I mean, that's all part of the learning process.
oh no, I agree with that. Like one of my actual very first shows I ever really recorded was a lot of people might not remember this type of camera. I don't know if it's even still around these days. The old flip video camera. It looked a lot like the size of what would now be a modern cell phone, kind of like this, but a little bit smaller. And excuse me, I would just film like that. Like I remember Trey Myers letting me sit up an Iron Warrior, giving me the tour around his truck. Basically, if you were to put a few zip ties around it, you could probably use it as a onboard camera. But like, those are fun. And then I'm kind of glad though I never record shows anymore, because I've always felt whenever you take pictures, it's much better because you get to see what type of shot you get. I mean, I know James does a lot of recording, but John, I'm pretty sure you're with me on this one because you do a lot of drag racing photography. I'm pretty sure you probably think now photography is much better than videography.
Oh yeah, I mean, the one thing I like about photography is, as opposed to videography, is you can capture a lot more of the finer details of the moment. And I guess there's, I mean, there's a bit of an art to videography too, but I kind of like the artistic side of photography and trying to compose the perfect shot, if you get what I mean.
Oh yeah, no, exactly. I'm kind of like that too. Like when I was in Providence last year before the pandemic even hit, I would always, whether if it was Tyler Menninger and Gravedigger or if it was Blake and Max D, whenever they came out, I knew right then and there one of them's going for the backflip. So I would sit in the same exact spot, right in front of the backflip ramp. And whenever they hit it, I would either zoom in to get good tight shots or try to stay as zoomed out as I possibly can. But, most of the shots did come out very good. But our final question here, and then we're going to wrap this up. Within the future of YouTube, I mean, I'm pretty sure YouTube is going to be around for God knows however long. YouTube then versus now. I wasn't around for like all the stuff then, but if you had to go back, John, first off, your thoughts on pretty much everything that happened back then to where we are right now. What do you think?
Well, I mean, I'm honestly kind of split on that. In terms of now, I mean, I kind of like the capabilities, like in terms of being able to upload higher picture quality, the longer videos, that sort of thing. But I do kind of miss I guess you'd call it the Wild West days of the early YouTube. When you'd get all sorts of people who just upload random stuff.
Oh my God, I remember those too.
To an extent.
Like, and even back,
seems a lot more polished and professional now.
Oh yeah, no, exactly. Because like, if you even go back then, like, say in case if I wanted to search up something with monster trucks that was uploaded within, like, let's say this week. Back then, you would type in monster trucks, you put a comma, and then you put in either this week, this month, today, etc., and it would give you everything within that week. However, now, like, you just type in monster trucks, and then you have to go to like a little tab, go down, and then go to either this week, this month. It's like they're trying their best to make it more manually hard for everybody. But I mean, I love the quality that everything has now. It's so good now, but part of me just wishes back then, like, I could have uploaded just one 240p video to the point where all you had to do was just click the high quality setting and a separate screen would pop up for it to be in high quality. Because I remember those times. Now, James, same thing with you. Your thoughts on being a part of YouTube back then compared to where it is now? Do you like it? What do you think of it?
Well, same way you guys said, the earlier days of the quality wasn't that great. The searching capabilities weren't there. The time limits weren't there. Now everything is, you pretty much have no limit. You can pretty much upload it any quality you want. And, the searching capabilities, you can just pull down those search tabs, find something you want to watch, and click, see when it was uploaded. And now it's like you want to upload videos, and people could watch them a lot more easier than they could back 10 years ago. Because I remember when I first pretty much found found YouTube, I really wasn't sure if you could even search the search option on it. And one of the first monster truck videos I watched on there was probably that jailbreaker monster truck Jeep that crashed through the ice ring in one of the arenas. That was probably the first video I ever seen on there. And now look at where it came from, the network we're at now.
Now, first off, before we go here, one of the other things I did want to talk to you about is actually the final thing here. My mind's everywhere today. But future upload plans. We'll start off with James first. You got anything in the future that you're going to be planning on uploading within like the next couple of weeks, couple of months?
Oh, yeah. I got just probably out tomorrow, actually. I just finished uploading the full event from Lebanon Valley show on Monday, from the Monday show this week. And then I know I got a couple more events coming up in the next few weeks. I think next week I'll be in New Jersey for the, I think it's Sussex, New Jersey for the New Jersey State Fair.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be down there I believe it's Tuesday. And then I'll be over at the show in near Torrington, Connecticut for the Monster Trucks with the Z, the circus show. I'll be over there on Saturday and Sunday of that week. And then that's probably about it for until end of September. I'll be over in Accord, New York for the circus show. And I think that's about it until probably the winter.
Well, there you go. John, what about you? You got any shows? You got any future uploads coming up? Because I mean, that TNT video was uploaded not that long ago, so there has to be a sign that you're going to be coming back within the next couple of months.
Oh yeah. Yeah, in terms of future plans, I mean, I am planning on re-uploading a lot of the older stuff. In terms of new stuff, in terms of live event videos, right now, with the ongoing border closure, I mean, we're kind of sparse for monster truck events up here right now. Probably in terms of new videos, there's going to be some more Rigs of Rods previews. I have some more projects in the works.
Yeah, well, there you go. I got my Bigfoot 1991 season, which is in the works. It'll be uploaded, I'd say probably by tomorrow because I'm almost done with it. And then I got my Snakebite 1991, 1992 remastered video that I'm going to be doing because I figured, you know what, 30th anniversary of Snakebite, why not do it? Make it a little bit better than what it was before. But guys, I really do want to thank you very, very much for being a part of this. I mean, like, I know it was just a random idea, but I was just watching one of John's videos and that comment came up on there and I'm like, you know what? Let's give this a try. And if you guys like this, the viewers that are listening or watching right now, if you guys actually like it, you know, leave a comment, let me know, because I've already talked with a couple of buddies of mine. Dylan Bernier said he'd like to try this out. Daniel Donnelly said he'd like to try it out. You know, if you want more roundtable discussions, I'm more than willing to give them to you. Anything to add more content onto the channel. James, do you still have Destruction Digger, or is it just one channel now?
Funny thing is, the original, the page I have right now, Monster Truckinator, was actually the Destruction Digger channel. I just re-changed the name on it a few years back because I originally lost the password for my original Monster Truckinator page. So the channel I have right now is actually the old Destruction Digger account.
I was going to say, a funny story. That's exactly what happened to CNH 320 General Lee. When he first talked to me on Facebook, he's like, that used to be my YouTube channel. I'm like, why'd you stop? And he's like, oh, I just forgot my password and I couldn't get it changed. So it's like a channel that lasted that long is the reason why. But, you know, subscribe to James. He puts out great content, good action from all over the Northeast. You know, he just gave out his schedule and where he's going to be. John, you know, legendary name, at least in my opinion, of the Monster Truck YouTube world. He's going to be uploading a lot of his new, a lot of his older stuff and a lot of new stuff too. Very good creator in Rigs of Rods. And I even think you have a beam project coming out soon.
Yep, that one's kind of on the back burner right now. I've accumulated a very large backlog of Rigs of Rods projects. So I'm trying to get that finished up in my free time. But it's still in the works. Once I get some time, I'll hopefully be progressing that one further along.
Well, all right. Well, guys, I really do thank you very, very much. You know, hopefully we'll do this again at some point. James, thank you. And John, thank you both very much for joining me today.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome.
All right, man. Have a good one.
Have a good night.
All right, and that concludes it for this one, guys. I hope you guys really did enjoy that. It's something new here, something new for the channel. I'm willing to, do whatever I can in order to get new content out, because a lot of the shows I can't upload, a lot of the stuff I can't really do, but I figured try to do something new and, be bringing on a lot of people within the old Monster Truck YouTube community from way back when. So, hope you guys loved it, and I'll see you guys within the next one. Keep a lookout later on for the Bigfoot 1991 season. That'll be uploaded either at some point tonight or tomorrow. But, I thank you guys for tuning in, and I will see you within the next one. Also, thank you to that one comment there that said happy birthday. I feel older than I look. Have a good night, guys. See you in the next one.